Okay, let's go.
It's time for Be Picked. When you're ready to move from clicks to clients, learn to be picked.
Welcome to Be Picked. This is the podcast for small professional service providers, and we help you learn to market your agency and get out there, not just to be found, but to be picked by the clients. I'm your host, Andrew Kolsky, and today we are talking with Benas Leonovikas. It's a tongue twister, Benas, but he is the founder of a personal branding agency by the name of Avium. So, Benas, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So today I want to be able to have a conversation with you because you're someone who has done what the people in our audience are trying to learn to do. And so many times today, and so many people that I talk to, they know they need to be doing something to be getting themselves out there if they're going to grow, if they're going to get new clients. And at the same time, they struggle with the fact that, but I don't have any time to do it, and I don't know how to do it, and I don't know where to start. And so they end up doing nothing, which is the worst thing they could possibly do. So can you give us a little bit of background about yourself? What is your story? How did you get into this field, and how did you end up building a personal branding agency?
Yeah, my father is an entrepreneur, and I always knew that I wanted to do kind of something on my own. I knew I always wanted to start a business. I just didn't think it would happen that soon out of university, because as my story goes, is that I started freelancing when I was still in university, but it was usually just for pocket money, just to kind of earn something on the side. Was very interested in just experimenting and learning new things. So, getting some projects that I can kind of do hands-on was kind of a very good experience. But I did try a few corporate jobs, a few internships, and then worked at a marketing agency, but never really worked out for me. And then actually after I graduated university, not that long ago, after that, I just decided to continue freelancing. And I mean, looking back, that was probably one of the best decisions that I made, since that actually, took my income level to new heights. I had freedom, flexibility to work sort of from anywhere and sort of in any way, shape, or form that I like. But at some point, after doing that for many, many years, I've been freelancing for over a decade now, I did find that there is a limitation of how much you can do on your own. And there are a lot of benefits of actually creating an agency, having a small team to help you out to do bigger things. So that's kind of how things went for me.
Great. Okay. So let's start with when you were doing the freelancing itself. Even to be doing freelancing, you gotta be found, and people have to choose to work with you. So here we are. Let's go back to day one. You're starting from zero. What did you do? And now looking back, what did you wish you had done to even get started with getting the freelance clients?
Yeah, I kind of stumbled into freelancing sort of by accident. There was this friend of a friend that knew that needed some articles written, and they kind of found my friend, and then my friend kind of recruited me per se to actually kind of both of us do together some work for that. So this was my first real client, you can say, and my first real freelancing thing that I ever did. And as I kind of did that, I really found a lot of power in having to do things on my own rather to be at a job, even at from that early age. But my freelancing thing, then I always wanted to do more. So after that we finished that project, I think it was a year that we did that writing articles thing. Basically wanted something more like that, and then trying to do cold outreaching, maybe some word of mouth. So it was very random at that point. So there's no strategy, on how things kind of began. But I think what it gave me is the very powerful feeling of wanting to do more things like that. And then I tried to, so now I am sort of a freelancer. Get how do I meet people to basically, get found, as you said, to actually get more contracts like that? For me, the biggest thing that took me from just being kind of a side hustle to actually being full time was signing up on a freelancing platform, Upwork. So that was still in the early days of Upwork. I'm not sure how well the platform is doing right now, so cannot like suggest or don't suggest sort of you doing the same. But when I did sign up, I it basically allowed me to get a lot more projects. It was very sort of successful for me from the start. Although I do have to mention, when I signed up, I actually sent, I think, maybe 5 to 10 proposals per day for 2 months straight until actually I got my first one. So it's not like I signed up and instantly, kind of the floodgates open and I started working with clients. It did took quite a while to get going, but I think it took me like about 6 months until I realized, oh, this is a very valuable channel for me. Let me just work more on that and see sort of where it goes. And from there, my freelancing took off. I eventually even sort of went away from Upwork, since I found more channels, more better marketing channels where I can get even better clients.
Okay, so pretty much, the common story of anyone who's starting out is you don't even have a particular plan or anything, and you start trying things and you see what works. So now here we are. You've become more successful. You've done more things. You've got more clients. You've built a personal branding agency. So looking backwards, if you were to be giving advice to your young self that was first starting out, what would you tell that younger self to do? What is the best strategy to start with so that you can try and, build something, build a business?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, from my own experience, and then from because I'm also the type of person that I really like to learn from others. So I read a lot of biographies. I've actually followed closely a lot of people that had success, agencies, YouTube channels, podcasts, you name it. So I'm the type of person that really interested in actually digging deeper and going on YouTube, checking all these videos, kind of trying to find why this person got successful. And from my own experience, as well as doing that, for a bunch of others, it seems that experimentation and trying things out is probably the biggest factor in who succeeds and who doesn't. I think at least what I see around me, a lot of people try to do things perfect from the first time, or they spend months or years on one particular channel, one particular thing. And I have a kind of a different mindset. I think you need to build an MVP, something that works well enough to test it and see how does it go. And then you basically run a bunch of tests and see which one picks up for you. Because for me, it was Upwork. I've tried many different things, outreaching, email, calling, meeting, but Upwork was the one that worked. For others listening, I have no idea what might work for you. It's all about just having a lot of these mini experiments, because I tried writing books. I tried opening an e-commerce store and running it. I tried actually buying an e-commerce store with a drop shipping model and running it. And obviously I failed at all of these, since this is not what I'm doing right now. But I've tried actually many different YouTube channels as well. So it by just trying and seeing what works, this was probably one of the best things that I did, and this is the thing that I suggest everybody else to give it a go. But you have to be like strategic. So if you choose, I don't know, YouTube as your thing for marketing your business, don't do that for like 2 years straight without some kind of a deadline, something to test it out. I mean, yes, of course, things like on YouTube might not work, from the beginning, but at least you need to have some kind of restraints to see sort of, to allow yourself to try other things and see what sticks quite quickly.
Mm-hmm. So you said something there that is super important to me, because it's very similar to my journey. And it's about being willing to fail. And every entrepreneur that I know, and that's sort of the crowd that I hang out with, every entrepreneur doesn't look at failure as, oh my gosh, I failed, I'm never going to do anything. Failure is nothing but a different word for learning. I tried this, I learned what didn't work, I learned what did work from it. The overall project didn't go the way I wanted it to, but now I'm going to take those lessons away and put them into the next project and the next project and the next project until I find one that hits a home run. And, just like you listed, I can give you a list of plenty of projects that I started and didn't go the way I wanted them to go, and you learn to pivot. Now, if we're talking to a professional service provider, someone who's gone to school to get a particular profession, a particular degree, we're not talking about giving up your profession and choosing a different profession, although you could if you wanted to. I have. But the point is, the approaches that you're taking, you have to find what's working, what's not working, where can I pick up and what's going to do best for me. So to me, whenever I hear the word failure, I just erase it in my mind and I replace it with learning. Because to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, for me, I haven't ever really thought of that. I'm just actually connecting the dots right now. But I always viewed failures or just any type of thing that I want to do as projects. For me, a project has a set, kind of start date and usually might have an end date. This is a project. I want to do that. I have this much of time. I want to put this amount of effort, and I want to see sort of what comes after. Because I actually have a full Google Drive folder that it's just basically named projects, and then it has every single thing that I ever tried in there with all of the files and everything that I kind of went through. So I think people should start viewing things. Some projects may succeed, some may not, but just view it as projects. Have a set date, set time, set parameters for this to work out. I mean, you can always change things as things go along, but at least I think when people give themselves some sort of a setup, some sort of rules, I think it should allow them to do things easier, quicker, and then change from one thing to another faster.
Yeah. And another piece of that I was thinking about as you were saying that is, I personally have never turned down an opportunity. And the reason I raise that is because I speak to so many people and I say, you really ought to meet this person, or you really ought to give that a try, or here's something that's available to you, you should do it. And they don't see at the time a direct tie-in to how is that going to give me a client or money. And it's not about a direct tie-in the second. You don't know where that conversation or where that person's going to lead you. They may know someone who's a perfect client for you. They may invite you to a networking group or something that you never would have known about. So most of the things that I have found that have been successful came from not being obvious up front. And it was just me taking advantage of every single opportunity that ever came my way, and they always paid off in some way at some point. And I've never been disappointed in, oh, gee, I just wasted an hour, trying to meet this new person who didn't bring me any clients. It's not about them bringing you, it's about making the connection, being genuine, and you'd be surprised what comes from there.
Well, you have no idea how much I can relate to what you just said. Like, it feels like my whole life is full of these, now looking back, it's very easy to connect the dots. Oh, okay, I met this person, I went there, I did that decision, so that led me to this. But you can never know looking forward. So yeah, I have the same opinion. You should always take various different opportunities, networking events, projects, things. You always need to try things, because in my own sort of life, I've had so many. You could even say like random things happen because I did that or tried that or met some kind of a person. And, if I would have thought, very directly, oh, this person, he's not my client, he's why should I meet with him or stuff like that, then not many other doors or opportunities might wouldn't have opened up for me. So yeah, I fully agree with what you just said.
Yeah, yeah, and it's I'm in the Washington D.C. area, and in the Washington D.C. area, obviously you have a lot of work going on, but you have a lot of other types of professional work going on as well. And I will go to different types of networking events, different conferences and things. And, for those of you that are listening, I'm going to share with you a secret. There are people that go to those events who are truly genuine. They are looking to see if they can do something to support you because they know it'll come back around in some way. And then there's those people who come in and their agenda is, I'm here to get a client, I'm here to get business, and it comes across so loudly, even though you were not saying it to the people. Your approach to people, the things you talk with them about, the cutting off the conversation quickly to go track down the next person because you don't think this person can provide anything to you. And then behind the scenes, the people sort of, I'll call it in the know, they comment, I would never give work to that guy. He doesn't care anything about me at all. He's just trying to get a couple bucks and move on. So it's very visible, even though you may think it's not visible. Your approach is very noticeable to people. And if you're coming in as a genuine person, really looking to see how can I provide value to them versus how can they provide value to me, that's the difference between successful people and the people who are not as successful. That's my experience.
I learned that the hard way. I think like 7 years ago, I did this mini tour of these conferences, and one of the my key goals was to be the guy that you just described that nobody likes. So I did learn that. I didn't understood that right away, but I think it took me some time. But eventually, I saw what I did, how I did it, and why it was sort of the wrong approach. So yeah, I've been there and I've done that when I first started sort of going to conferences and networking with people. Now my approach is completely different.
So share that with us. What would your approach be? You're going to a conference and you've never met any of these people before. What would be an effective approach from your perspective?
Honestly, kind of stopped trying in a sense. I have enough experience to know that just by being me, just by being genuinely interested and just talking to people that might not be my right clients, might not be the perfect people to talk to, it still leads to a lot of huge opportunities. So honestly, nowadays, like even the people that I kind of meet online, not even just like on LinkedIn or just on various online communities, I just kind of go where my gut tells me to go, which feels, well, it is actually very genuine since I'm kind of moved by my own approach and sort of I'm generally interested and just talking to people that about the things that I like to talk. I'm interested in what they do because this is what kind of drawed me, in the first place. So by just kind of relaxing and being yourself a little bit and not taking things too strategically, it works for me. So I don't plan on changing that anytime soon.
Right. Yeah, and the key there is just the more genuine you are as a person, people can see that, they can sense that, they can feel that. That's the type of person they want to hire. When they get that feeling that they're just being marketed to and you see them as a wallet as opposed to a person, it's not gonna end as well. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, so you have this personal branding agency you've built, Avium. What does that look like if somebody comes to you, brand new client? What are you going to do for them and how are you going to do it? What have you learned to be most effective for people?
Yeah, so the agency is kind of built on things I've seen that the key clients that I work with need. So it wasn't just I kind of woke up one day and decided, hey, I'm going to do personal branding. My actual expertise that I did for the last 10 years is search engine optimization. I've been doing a lot of other digital marketing stuff and been involved in a lot of other spaces, but like the thing that I freelance for, it was search engine optimization and then AI search when that sort of became a thing. The reason for starting a personal branding agency is now that AI search is way more prominent, you need to actually do a lot more things to rank on AI search, which means you need sort of everything is becoming more interconnected. If we like look back even like 10 years ago, you could have just written a blog post on a website, on a brand new website, and start ranking without needing any external factors, like just to simplify it. Nowadays, it's not enough to have like a blank website and then a blog post. Nowadays, you need LinkedIn, you need YouTube, you need podcasting. There is just a whole network of things that you need to do in order to complement one or the other sort of marketing channel that you're interested in. So the people that I work with are keynote speakers, book authors, and high-level executives, or even some founders. And what I do for them is mainly I work with SEO, AI search, but I also do podcasting. I also sort of help them get on podcast. I also help them with their LinkedIn and then also with their YouTube. Like these are sort of the main channels, the main things that people that I work with care most about and that work the best if everything works in sort of a synergy. Because if you do good on LinkedIn, that can translate good for SEO. If it's good for SEO, that translates good into AI search. Then if you also have an additional sort of YouTube videos, then that's sort of can complement every other channel that you have. So by having this synergy between all of these platforms, I've seen it gives the best of the results compared to if you just work on LinkedIn, if you just work on your website.
Okay, so so with the AI search becoming more and more and more, prominent out there, and you're talking about, someone having to be present and visible across multiple channels, LinkedIn, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. What type of content is important? Because there's a difference between creating a YouTube video that says, hi, I do this type of work and I'm great, versus a different message. What type of messaging is important that people put out?
In terms of AI search, honestly speaking, messaging is not that important. It's for now, one of the best ways to rank on AI search is to one of the ways is to be cited at specific sources. So that really depends on your niche. That really depends on because for different types of prompts on AI, different types of sources are important. So you need to find that specific category or even specific websites that AI really likes for that specific prompt, and you need to be listed there. So that is one thing. Usually for clients like mine, there might be blog articles with listicles of best leadership keynote speakers in New York City or something like that. That might be some kind of an article, a news form. You want to be known, you want to be listed on some of those in some capacity. So that's a very sort of specific example, but there are a lot of different types of sources that you want to be listed for, which means digital PR these days is very, very important for getting you listed on AI search. Another thing is that AI seems to scrape a lot of YouTube videos as well. So, but it doesn't give like priority to a channel that has 0 subscribers and 1 view. So you need traction to be for AI to scrape you. But if you have your own channel speaking just about your own work, well, technically speaking, and if you have like at least few thousand views per video, that actually is enough to influence AI search and, for example, rank you or your business higher than your competitors because there is more data about you on the internet. AI search, at least for now, that might actually change in the future, but for now, it seems that it's basically ranking people that are screaming the loudest. So the more citations you have, the more backlinks you have, the more mentions you have, the bigger is your channel. You're just going to be cited by AI search. That probably might change in the future because Google used to work very similarly like 12, 13 years ago, where, the website that had the most backlinks was the first to rank. Obviously, people exploited that system, so Google introduced a lot more guardrails. So it's no longer the case. It's much more complicated than that. But AI search is still new, and it seems it's taking very similar signals that SEO and Google sort of developed, but it's still in its infancy. So for now, this is the thing that works best for ranking on AI.
Okay. So you had mentioned that you tried yourself several different YouTube channels and things, and some, didn't pan out as well as others. What lessons did you learn there in terms of what should somebody be thinking about if they want to create their own YouTube channel and they're going to be putting content out there? Is it shorts versus longer videos? What type of content? Do they need to go and learn how to break dance to get attention? What does somebody do on YouTube that's going to be effective?
Yeah. First of all, I don't have much experience with shorts on YouTube at all. I'm all of a long form video guy myself. This is what I've been learning and doing and trying. So cannot really comment on the short strategy. But in terms of the long form videos, first, you need to understand what are the goals for creating that YouTube channel. Is it your personal YouTube channel? Is it for your business? Is it your business representation? So it's very, very important to understand why the channel exists, and then the second part is to understand who are your target people that you want to target. A lot of people unfortunately look at YouTube and they're like, I need views, but are you sure if you're an entertainment channel building, then yeah, views might be the end of your end goal, since, that is how you make revenue and stuff like that. But if we're talking realistically, for majority of people, you don't actually need that many views to have a very profitable YouTube channel, because, even a couple of thousand views per video, if that's your target audience, then you might. I've seen a lot of channels making a lot of money from selling their own services or their own products, because they have this. If you look at from the side, a not so popular YouTube channel. So understanding why the channel exists, then understanding your core audience, and then only making videos for that core audience, which might go against, that viral things that some of the internet might be screaming you to do, or the thumbnails that need to be sort of outlandish. I personally found that that's not the case. Unless you want to be sort of an entertainer, unless you want to sort of go viral for sort of other reasons than, making more for your business, then yeah, that's totally fine strategy. But you have to understand that strategy first before you sort of commit to making YouTube videos.
Yeah. And, all of this, all the things we're talking about, come back to what we initially were saying in starting off of this podcast, which is you got to do something. You got to start somewhere. You can't,
yes.
The people who are like get in their own way because they want to plan what is the perfect YouTube video going to be, and I got to plan out the perfect script, and I got to re-record it 22 times. No. You got to get out there, turn on the camera, record a message that people want to hear, and put it out there, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. So you need to get out of your own way and start doing something, and then you learn. You'll find which one worked, which one didn't. And I'll tell you, from prior businesses that I've had, one thing that I learned, I did have an e-commerce site for products that I made, but then I also had some products that I wanted to resell because I wanted to test it. And the lesson that I learned from that business, which was a successful business, I actually sold it and moved on to another business. But the lesson I learned there was, I don't care how much research you do, I don't care how many focus groups you talk to. I don't care how many conferences you go to and talk with people. The things that actually sell, you have no idea what they're going to be. And so I would put products out on my website just to test. Are people interested in this? I had some where I'm thinking this will definitely be a big seller. Others was like, maybe I'll get a couple sales. I was wrong every time. The things that became the biggest sellers, I never would have imagined being the biggest sellers. And the things that I knew were going to be a hit didn't sell at all. So again, if you don't try, you're never going to know.
On the same note, it's the same with YouTube videos. The ones that I thought making, this should be good, this should take off, and the ones that were made even with less effort or just that I didn't think would perform well actually outperformed like my expectations by so much. So it's the same, I think, on everything that you do, which is while we're getting to the same thing that we talked in the beginning. You need to experiment because you never know what thing will take off, whatever that be, e-commerce product that you're selling, a YouTube video that you're doing, or just a platform or a way that you want to sort of freelance and how you're trying to get clients. Yeah, it's all about finding the thing that works for you.
Perfect. Well, we have reached the end of our episode here, so I am going to sort of give you the last word. What would be sort of your final encapsulated wrap up of someone who's listening to this? They haven't started yet. They know they need to go somewhere. What's your final word to them?
You're putting me on a spot here. I think people need to be more open-minded. So whatever assumptions that you have about platforms, things, just throw them out of the window. View everything as brand new, as experimental, as something that needs to be tried, even if you think that might not work. So I think if you open your mind a bit and view everything as an experiment, that would serve you the best in a long.
Fantastic. I think that's great advice. Thank you for joining us. For those of you that are listening, we do a new episode every week. We have experts, just like you've heard from Benas today, and we talk about all the aspects of what is necessary for you to be able to build and grow your practice. As always, please check out our website, www.bepicked.com. You'll find this podcast there. You'll find a link to our YouTube channel. You'll find a free credibility assessment that you can take and learn where you need to start focusing to build your own business. You'll find my new book, Left of Trust. It is available for pre-order right now on Amazon. And you'll find out about our credibility generator that takes all the things that Benas was talking about that are necessary to get out there with AI search today, and it'll kind of help you do a lot of that on autopilot in a way. Anyways, I'm your host, Andrew Kolsky. This has been the Be Picked podcast. We will see you next week.
If you are enjoying this content, please like and subscribe. Thank you.